aims to blend with innovative, contemporary methods in pedagogy. It is an essential discussion in today's evolving academic landscape. Now, to enlighten on this theme, we are deeply honored to have with us Mr. Sandeep Sethi, an eminent resource person and a passionate educationist with over 35 years of teaching and training. Sir is a pioneer in integrating creativity into education. Sir has introduced and successfully implemented education through theatre, crafting plays in subjects like accountancy, economics, business studies, and mathematics, even performing at the National School of Drama. His dedication to innovative teaching is further reflected in his 35 exhibitions in commerce subjects and his remarkable work as a trainer in using graphic novels as pedagogy. It has created over 200 graphic novels aligned with CBSE, NCERT, and Diksha standards. Sir has also conducted virtual conference exhibitions in collaboration with 22 schools across the country and has served as an education officer at CBSE. Additionally, he has contributed as a convener for the CUET examination and currently holds the prestigious position of Director Education, Maharaj Sawai Singh Trust, City Palace, Jaipur. On behalf of Kristu Jayanti College, may I now request Dr. Mary Jacob, Coordinator of HR Department, to welcome Mr. Sandeep Sethi with a sapling which is symbolizing growth, learning and sustainability. So we now look forward to gaining insights from your vast experience and unique perspective on integrating traditional Indian values with modern teaching methodologies. I request you to take over this session, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome everyone after your tea. And I only hope that this 1 hour which has been given to me is a very fruitful thing for you in the morning. So I'm just going to pick up from the CV which they spoke about myself, and I'll just pick them up in two lines each, because some of things may be very new to you, some of things may be very, very old to you. So we're anyway talking about values, which Indian values have already been done, but maybe we are not focusing them on that level. So first, when they speak about conducting 35 years of commerce teaching, I have a problem. I cannot teach from a textbook. So how many commerce students or teachers are sitting here? Accountancy, business studies, economics, entrepreneurship. So I have got a problem that I cannot understand from a textbook and I cannot teach from a textbook. So even accountancy, I normally would enter the class without a book in hand. So that is how I was forced to think, and I had to constantly devise methods of how to simplify teaching. So one method which I used in my school as a student and which I took it up as a teacher was of teaching through exhibitions. So normally when you think of an exhibition, you have a mix of all subjects. Every class puts up an exhibition. Our school didn't work like that. Our school, the class teacher did one exhibition. So if you were 5 sections in 9th, there were 5 exhibitions in 9th, each put up by the class teacher and the subject. So when I took over this school, St. SMS Jaipur, I had exhibitions in accountancy. So the whole course was put up in an exhibition form. Then it was business studies, then again accountancy. And every year the theme would change. So if some of you all remember the old Jumanji Part 1. There's this film Jumanji Part 1. So when Part 1 was released, we created the whole year's exhibition into game format. Then I was in a very awkward position, teaching a child who was physically handicapped but mentally very agile. I had to do a lot of things on him on computers because he could only use 2 fingers. So hence we did accountancy through computers. So we kept on changing the pedagogy as per the need. So that is why I was very happy, and I think when I joined St. Anstons, Jaipur, that is a school where I got complete freedom to do what I want to do. But being a missionary school, there was only one constraint. Don't ask budgets from the school. You want to do something innovative, do it on your own, and we are giving you platform to do it. So that was the plus point I got from that school. And we generated school-fed funds, did some more work here and there, and we did the first exhibition on a jute bag. So the entire roll of jute was purchased, cut into bag shapes, and we did not use chart paper that year. We used those bag material, and at the end of the exhibition, we got them stitched and we sold all the bags. So we had 160 bags, and everything went off very smoothly. So these are all independent, 1 hour sessions to do how it has been done. So this is not what I've come here for. Then we hit upon one session that, I have to change also my medium. I cannot do the same thing again and again. So hence we picked up theatre. For 7 years, we did theatre as an academic course, in the sense accountancy was taught through theatre, the next year business studies, the next year 12th standard course, and as I told you, I was very lucky to get just the right principal, Father Eddie, and I was allowed to do all that. So 7 years we did theatre, and we topped it by going to National School of Drama. Our plays were always academic plays. So you had Geela Sampson as the chief guest, you had Barry John as the chief guest, all the right people were there in Jaipur for that. So that shuts off education through theatre. That's the time when I moved on from one school to the other, and in one school we did a very, I think, most challenging thing, R.N. Podar School, Mumbai. We did the annual day function of R.N. Podar, a Bombay school in Jaipur. 300 students from Bombay went to Jaipur to do an annual day function at the Jaigarh Fort on a theme, restoration of monuments and rainwater reharvesting. So that was a challenge which I got, and lucky being enough that I just always got the right principal who could let me to explore, and they also had ideas, so I even followed their ideas. I gave up. I was a principal for, how many principals are sitting here? That is the toughest job, means I just detest that job because it's an administrative job, nothing got to do with creativity. So if you have creativity, you can't be a principal. And if you're a principal, you'll have to let creativity go away. You can't balance it out. Until, of course, you got very good teachers who will, take your wagon ahead. So then I became a principal for barely 13 months. And then I joined the City Palace as Director Education. They didn't know what I was going to do. So first we did a festival. I was in CBSE, so I was doing all project work for the subject. So we did history, grade 11th and 12th, live action form. The entire textbook was brought up on stage. Around 15 schools of the city took part. We do collaborative work. The next year we did 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and that is the time when Anita Karwal ma'am entered our life and gave us so much of freedom to work. She was a CBSE chairperson that time, and then later on she became the Education Secretary India. We did one event called Rivers and Gandhi. That was geography and Gandhi linked up with his 150 years. And then entered the dark era of 2 years, that is COVID. But in that process, the year before COVID entered, we had made one comic book called The French Revolution. Really tough one to make because we didn't know how to make it. And during COVID times, we took a challenge that we all are sitting at home, working out, trying to do creative work. So let's start making comic books. So I do the training part. So can we have the first trailer, sir? That's on graphic novels. Let's have a look at that and where it has reached. And can we switch off some lights also, because there's going to be a lot of screen work now.
Change is the only constant, said a wise man, and so true indeed. With the coming of the new education policy, education is becoming more student-centric, and thus the need to focus on developing the competencies among students. The graphic novel will provide the much-needed visual support to the complex concepts and engage multiple learning models among students, besides developing their higher-order thinking skills.
The making of these graphic novels has brought to the fore the 4 essential 21st century skills that we constantly talk of. The essential 4 C's: collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity.
The comic book in physics. The challenge was to build a pictorial story to explain electricity and energy crisis. The team used experiential learning to build it on a backdrop of the after effects of a supercyclone. The journey was thrilling.
Mathematics is a lot to do with applications. Children understand it better when we convert them into application, that is storyline. It then becomes a fun activity for them.
Training session for making a graphic novel with the lighthouse of kindness. Sessions were held for sketching, coloring, expressions, merging of characters with the backdrop, and layout of blocks. YouTube links with around 400 views for each speaks for themselves.
Creating comic books helps to preserve ancient art forms and is an effective way of teaching history. Like folk art, it depicts the culture and society of the times gone by and tells us about shared community values.
Creating characters and converting them into a storyline was a challenge, but with a lot of brainstorming with the entire team, we could visualize the concept and start giving shape to the characters. It brought us back to the Amar Chitra Katha comic days.
Curation between various participating schools displayed an extension of collaboration as educators appreciated each other's work and critiqued impartially.
Let us dive into the process of audio-visual of graphic novel, which is a roller coaster ride with sounds, action, music going up and down, re-recording and recording.
Many subjects, integrating all kinds of subjects and disciplines into one solid whole. I think that is what has been the USP of these graphic novels for me.
The fact that the scripts have been developed using NCERT as a base gives it an academic perspective. These novels can be modified and converted into, plays and dramas, and therefore lend themselves to performing arts.
These graphic novels are nothing short of a revolution. They're making learning easy and fun. Padhai bhi aur masti bhi, not only for children but also for adults.
The graphic novel being translated into a variety of Indian languages along with the audios will prove to be a great learning resource for every child in the country.
ग्राफिक कॉमिक्स एक ऐसा नवाचार है जिसमें अनोखे पात्रों के माध्यम से एक रंगीन चित्र कथा के द्वारा शिक्षा अधिक अनुभवात्मक, समग्र, लचीली और सुखद होती है और बच्चों की दक्षताओं को विकसित करती है।
So this has been, first year it was barely 50, then we jumped up to 100, then 150, now we crossed 200. But you all, whichever board you belong to, you know the importance of NCERT. All of them are approved by NCERT. So if you click the NCERT textbook, the chapter, the QR code, if there's a comic book, it will open in the textbook itself. And if you click the comic book with the QR code, the textbook chapter will open. So it was, those who have done work with CBSE NCERT know how challenging it is to get an approval from NCERT. So we managed everything because the work was very good. Our target is to make 1,000 comics because we want to convert every chapter into a comic. That's an objective of ours. So we finished 200 and you'll be surprised to that we were very excited to begin with history first because it seems to be the easiest one. But very soon we shifted to the toughest one, that was mathematics. So let's have a glimpse of 3 comic books. Just you start the comic book and I'll tell you to go up to 3-4 pages only. So this is the one, my favorite, on linear equation. How many maths teachers sitting here? Great. So you know linear equation comes up in 8th or 9th standard, really tough. So can you come up to the pages? So the story goes on like this. There's this, this is the text. Keep on going up. So you have to have the learning outcome and objective as per NCERT. Go ahead. And then you have to have the storyboard. So this covers the entire chapter. Then these are the characters. That time we were not allowed to use AI. We had to have hand-painted ones. So that's how we did them. Now you can stop here. So this story now, you know how we developed this storybook also. We collected all the 8th standard textbooks of this chapter, linear equation. And we tore out all the pages, got them Xeroxed. And then we started cutting them into different categories of questions. The maths teacher will know what I'm saying. There are some questions on weight, some on height, some on coins, the different categories. We realized there were 8 categories of questions. So there were 8 scenes created. The storyboard was made. There was a couple, husband, wife, their parents, a son. Son comes from school and is very disturbed because he didn't understand linear equation. The mother takes him to the vegetable market to explain the concept of the weighing scale. That's the base of this chapter. That is LHS equals to RHS. And then all the other aspects of this chapter, can you proceed quickly? So this is the conversation at the vegetable market. Please go ahead. Now the child, every concept has a question bank also. Then let's go ahead. And now you have him sitting with his granddad at a carom table, and the combination of coins comes up there. So all the different categories of questions are covered here. Can we have the second comic book? This is coordinate geometry. This school is very special because the teachers didn't do any work, the children did the entire work. During COVID, we had 100 sessions with them online, with the children, to develop 3 comic books. And the beauty of these 3 comic books were, when we were doing all this work, CBSE was very excited working with us, and we were excited working with them. So we were having 6 comic sessions for the entire country. So this session, when we had for mathematics, made by the students, was conducted by Mr. Manoj Ahuja, the CBSE chairperson then, and attended by Anita Karwal ma'am, the education secretary. And we had 101,20,000 teachers watching this session when this was happening. So coordinate geometry, again the maths teachers, there are 3 or 4 here. The comments that we got from this was, we only go to the classroom and do the question answers. We never explain the coordinates. So now this, go ahead, comes about again a mother and a child. There's a little better artwork done here. Please go ahead. So this mother and the child are flying down, coming after COVID, and he has to face a test on coordinate geometry. He doesn't know anything. The mother tells him, kindly go to the vending machine. Please go ahead. Vending machine, pick up a bottle of water. And then she explains to him, the bottle of water which you took from the vending machine is all coordinates. Then when they're entering the flight, go ahead. So the flight, your ticket number is also coordinate. Your flight ticket number is normally something like 3A or 10A or 38B. So these are also coordinates. So the XY axis was explained. Now the fundamental basic thing about graphic novel is you cannot have it without a story. And you cannot have a story without application. So hence, all applications are here. So we teach online comic books how to use. So if you don't want to make them, start using them. Or how to make. Depends upon the school what they want to be done. So if a school wants to get them made, you need 4 categories of teachers. One is a subject teacher, one is a language teacher for the dialogues, one is an art department teacher, and one is an IT person. With these 4, it's a relay race, the comic book happens. Can we the next one? With this graphic novel which you're going to see, can you go ahead? Was made by a Calcutta school on science. And I know what happened when we got these graphics in our hands. Just go a little more ahead, where the pictures come in. And our team of people, go a little more ahead. So if you go a little more ahead, the quality of graphics was at par with Tintin and Asterix comics. The teachers did such excellent work. We all were in tears when a few days before Diwali we got this graphic novel online, and we realized that what we were doing was the right work. But look at the graphics which have come out there. So this is a couple, husband-wife couple going on a farmhouse for a weekend, and the lights go off there. They've got their daughter, son, and a pet. And when the electricity is not there, the whole chapter of electricity comes up in a story form. So that's all with the graphic novel phase. So I've been telling you what we've been doing. So actually everything needs a separate session to elaborate the whole process. But we can do it online for you at no cost, so just don't worry. Which is the next one coming up there. That's where we come to now, right about the topic I need to talk to you about. That is education through monuments. So can we have the next video? Okay, another one, 3-minute distraction. This is 1 year after COVID we did this. Can you show it to us and I'll talk about it after that? Please play that. And play it back to back. There are 3 of them, barely of 1 minute each.
beautifully conceptualized, and we are really grateful to Maharaj Sawai Singh Museum and Rooftop for giving this brilliant platforms to all the schools to bring art integrated learning alive.
The next one. So this was a 4-day festival in Jaipur. That's where I come from. And this one was on Fad Se Pad. It's a folk art form.
The beautiful way of presentation is art. Okay? और आपने इतिहास को इतनी अच्छी तरह से पेश किया कि मैं क्या बताऊँ आपको.
So what you can see in the background is 75 years of independent India. And that was done on a 57 feet scroll. It was so long. And we made 37 scrolls in a period of 1 year. We had 2 festivals, one in Jaipur, one in Delhi. And of course, you've heard of JLF. We even were allowed to showcase there. A good highlight for JLF festival was that we were changing 3 FUDs every day. After every 3-4 hours, there was a new FUD coming up. And unfortunately, now if anyone who calls to get a FUD being displayed there, we have only 2 which we can move around. And they're not the very good ones, because the good ones are all embedded in the walls of the school. So even when these FUDs were made, teachers would ask, "Kis size ka banana?" I would say first decide where to put it up. So maybe there's this wall behind you, or maybe one of those walls, side walls. So schools have put up FUDs everywhere like that. So that was again a Indian folk art, dying folk art, which was brought back into academics. So we've got a coffee table book released on that also. You can skip this one and come to the education through monument one. Just go ahead.
Let's go.
Yeah, this one.
Let's go. Suno 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 इंदर और की कहानी जो थी बड़ी अद्भुत जो हमको है सुनानी. Suno 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 इंदर और की कहानी जो थी बड़ी अद्भुत जो हमको है सुनानी. जंतर मंतर. जंतर मंतर.
जंतर मंतर शान है जयपुर की ये जान है. गणेश मंदिर बिरला मंदिर सबका ही सम्मान है. ये जान है ये शान है सम्मान है.
जंतर मंतर बताना गणित देखा बोले ज्ञान है. इससे मिला हमें समय दिशा का ज्ञान है. ये जान है ये शान है सम्मान है. बिरला मंदिर की एक अनोखी पहचान है पहचान है. सुनो 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 इंदर और की कहानी जो थी बड़ी अद्भुत जो हमको है सुनानी सुनानी. जंतर मंतर. जंतर मंतर. Jantar Mantar satisfied a monument to science where knowledge resides. A place of learning, a place of awe where science.
So this is actually a more than 7-year homework done. The thing, when I joined the group at the City Palace, we were discussing of having something with monuments, academics to that. So it took us time, but then we really came up with it very well. So the whole story goes down that when you send your school students to see a monument, which teacher do you send? Which teacher goes an escort teacher? Subject? Social studies? Yeah. Because we always relate a monument to history. But let us all reflect, which monument was built with history? History came after the monument was built. But while the monument was built, can you ever imagine any monument to be built without engineering? It can't be built, right? So that means PCM was already there. But why don't we not send a physics teacher to see the monument? Because unfortunately, we as students and teachers have never looked at it from that angle. So this was a challenge. Why look at it only from the historical aspect? So we did that research and we hit upon, well, you can see history, geography, physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, economics, psychology, name the subjects, and of course history is also there. So we started off this festival, and let us see, and you could see all the pictures here who've been showcased there. They are all the NCRT big shots, everyone on that level who literally fell for the project to work with us. Of course, we always say we are working with them, but in this project it was the other way around. They wanted to be a part of the whole deal. So normally we do a festival in 1 year and we finish it off, but education through monument is not happening like that. So let's see where it went up after that. Let's show the next one. So this was a song done by one school in Jaipur, a rap song for the festival. And you see the festival effect in the Fard Kapar, you see that festival movement, the children there, the costumes, the magnificent palace, you know, everything is very good in Jaipur for us that way. But let's see what we did in the other cities. So this is in Varanasi.
वन्दे जगत्कारणं वन्दे मन्नगभूषणं मृगधरं वन्दे पशूनां पतिं वन्दे सूर्यशशाङ्कवलिनयनं वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियं वन्दे वक्रजनाश्रयं च वरदं वन्दे शिवं शङ्करम्
First festival happened year before last, 2 years back, in Varanasi, somewhere in October. After that, we did the festival in Jaipur. Varanasi did around 22 monuments of the city. They had 22 schools, they did 22 monuments. When we came to Jaipur, we had around 60 schools coming from all over India. I think more than 20 schools coming just from outside Jaipur. And we did a festival there for 4 days. I think that was one of the best performances that we've had, but the work didn't stop there. Bang in the month of January end, we did a festival in Mumbai. Can we have the next one? So it's very different. You saw Varanasi, you saw Jaipur, now you're seeing Mumbai. Mumbai has its own flavor.
RN Pota School presents कौन बोला मुंबई देखने जाएगा कौन बोला मुंबई देखने जाएगा उठ जा अपनी नींद से तो उठ जा अब तलाश में शानदार मॉन्यूमेंट्स को देखकर तेरा सर झुक जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा CST जैसा स्टेशन तुझे ना मिल पाएगा सीलिंग का ये ज्वाला तुझे ट्रैफिक से बचाएगा जितना तू मुंबई देखेगा उतना ही बौखलाएगा सबसे लाजवाब है वो तू मिस नहीं कर पाएगा गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया वो ख्वाबों में भी आएगा अब चल जरा तू हिस्ट्री में जा खौफ नहीं था सीने में हर रास्ते को चीरेंगे क्रांति मैदान के वीर थे आजादी मिली खून पसीने से मतलब बना तब जीने में क्यों क्योंकि मुंबई देखने जाएगा तो मॉन्यूमेंट देखने आया है क्या ऐसे ही लौट जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा तो मॉन्यूमेंट देखने आया है क्या ऐसे ही लौट जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा तो मॉन्यूमेंट देखने आया है क्या ऐसे ही लौट किसी का हाथ नहीं था सर पर गांधी आए खुद की मेहनत से हाँ जितनी ताकत में नहीं उसकी रहमत में थी फिर भी गोरे सहमत नहीं थे सबकी हरकत नहीं थी गांधी ने यहाँ मर्जी की जुर्रत की अहिंसा की शांति की हाजी अली इबादत की हाई कोर्ट की अदालत की ताज की मोहब्बत की स्टॉक एक्सचेंज की दौलत की सिद्धिविनायक की इज्जत की बापा जैसा कोई महान इच नहीं है क्योंकि मुंबई देखने जाएगा तो मॉन्यूमेंट देखने आया है क्या ऐसे ही लौट जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा तो मॉन्यूमेंट देखने आया है क्या ऐसे ही लौट जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा तो मॉन्यूमेंट देखने आया है क्या ऐसे ही लौट जाएगा मॉन्यूमेंट्स देखने आया था क्या तू ऐसे ही लौट जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा मुंबई देखने जाएगा
The unique thing about RN Podar was they don't have an auditorium even half of this size. So where do you conduct an event? So normally they take an event outside in one of those Bandra Hill schools, the missionary schools, they've got huge auditoriums. But I was very keen that, when you go to a school auditorium like that, parents come, the event happens, it gets over within 2 hours and it's all gone. And I wanted this to be in an exhibition form. So we kept on pleading the principal, ma'am, no, we should not, we should do in the school. She said, tell me, where is the place? Then the coordinators and everyone sat down and we realized that when 10th and 12th go out of the school after the pre-boards, those rooms are empty. And 9th standard will be doing the exhibition. So they done only from grade 9, they picked up 18 monuments. They have 6 sections in 9th. Every 15 student was put on to one monument. So we had the 9th grade rooms, the 10th grade rooms and the 12th grade rooms. We had 20 rooms. So in 20 rooms we made up more or less on an average 1 room, 1 monument. And the exhibition was put up for 2 days. If you go to an auditorium, it winds up within 2 hours. And now when you put up for 2 days, the whole school got to see it. So there was a very special thing. There was a classroom which was converted to one monument. I remember there was Mount Mary's Church. There was Siddhivinayak. So when I entered Mount Mary Church, I said, I'm feeling I'm entering a Christian's house. What is happening? They said, Sandeep sir, we put some cakes here. Whatever food they had put up there. So we went to Siddhivinayak. You had that very typical Mandir Wali Khushbu, with the Parshad which was put up there. And the Haji Ali had the whole Itra essence coming up in that room. So everything was so thoughtfully done. And we did that event. After that, we did one festival in Delhi, we did in Gurgaon. Just last year in November, we did in Pune. Pune, they did 25 monuments. And it's not stopping. We were supposed to be right now, today's 8th. Earlier, we were supposed to go back today itself because 9th and 10th, we were doing a festival in Jammu. But Jammu got postponed on account of red alert. And we have Baroda coming up. How many of you all know of a place in Mumbai called Nala Supara? We have a festival coming up in Nala Supara also on the monuments of Nala Supara. We're working with Baroda, Nala Supara, German, and I don't know, we may come up with Bangalore also. Let's see what happens. There are more cities coming up with more festivals. Gwalior is coming up, Indore is coming up. So every city has a monument. So that's a fun part of it. Let's do the monuments there. Can we have the next one? So this is, everything was quite interesting. I'm going to take it a little boring affair, but I'm going to push it up very fast to tell you how this happens. So I think you've got a PPT now? Yeah? Yeah, that's this PPT. Start showing the slide. So this is the monument journey. I'm going to keep it very short. Next. Overview, how we did it, why we thought about it. It took us 7 years to work out the homework for that. Even when we launched it in Jaipur, if Urvashi ma'am remembers, it was launched 2 years back. And a museum trustee said, don't do it, it will not happen. But we put it under the covers, and we started doing it. Next. So how do we look at a curriculum? We look at all the subjects, we look at, I'm giving references of Bombay because I think that they really did excellent. So when we were at Gateway of India, there's streamers there who take you to Elephant Ellora caves. Now the children objected. They said, sir, there's a lot of fumes coming on the Gateway of India. And it is courtesy the diesel basically burnt here. So I said, that's a problem. Now how do we solve it? So there should be a pollution under control stickers for the vehicles also. So that was a thought coming from the children. We had allowed them to think. Then they said, the pigeon excreta is creating a big problem. Luckily, I had the PETA a person's number with me. So I told her, I said, will you be happy if children take an agitation against pigeons because pigeons are going to give us a lot of asthmatic issues? She said, Sandeep, we are also planning it out. Let's do it together. We are going to tell them not to feed the pigeons at these places. So that is again something that you allow children to think. So now they were thinking. We had an issue with a historian who did not want the Valli ceiling to be taken up out of it. He said, that's not history. So I told him, history to ban jayegi, 50 saal baad, 60 saal baad. But physics was there, chemistry was there. Why are we leaving all that? Hence, we took a stand to take all modern monuments also. And there's such lovely stories of Haji Ali. Bombay, Haji Ali, Mount Berry, Siddhivinayak, Mahalakshmi. Lovely combination to see what is common amongst them. So it's real fun, when you start exploring that way, you understand so much above religion. And Bombay, as this is a metropolitan city, there is no problem with that. Next. So question to ponder, history, when, where, who built, why and how. These things we do all with a history teacher, which is all there on the Google anyway. But let's do some other research. So now it comes next slide. What to do in mathematics? So much is going to be covered on these topics in mathematics from that particular monument. Next. Physics. So everyone just do an experiment right now. Just take your hand like this and open your mouth properly and blow. Right? And now just small. Was there any difference in the warmth of the hand? Any physics teacher sitting here? That's one principle. So when you go to a monument, you see those jalis there. You've got small holes in the jalis. That is for this reason, so that air should be cooler when it comes in. When you've got bigger holes there, the air will be warm. So that's physics. And I have a book in my hand, 101 experiments conducted on these monuments in a journey. And all the schools will be joining now already have that ready equipment for us then. Next. These are the chemistry topics which you can be covering there. Next. Geography, next. These are our research work where we picked up things from. And of course, we've been sitting with NCRT day and night. Next. This is the Jali's experiment I just told you. Next. This is the ramps. The inclination of the ramps. Everything is scientific here. Next. The cannon. Of course, a few monuments have it, all don't have it. But again, there's a whole science in that here. Next. So this is the coffee table book being made right now, and every monument is going to get 4 pages. The first page is like this, and art and the monument itself. Let's have the second page. Next. So these are the subjects which the monuments are aligned with. So can you see it's not the history teacher now alone. This activity happens in school. It is touching all the subject teachers. And there are anecdotes of the children put down there, their reflections. Third page. Next. These are the experiments. Okay, this one. These were the experiments which were made there. And if a school has more than 2 experiments, they put on the QR code. They may be having 10 experiments, but we're only putting 2 experiments on that particular page in the coffee table book. Next. This is one page given to the school as a collage. So you can see JHF stands for Jaipur History Festival. D's, they went for the Delhi History Festival. They didn't go to Varanasi. But I think they also went Gurgaon Festival. They did go or not go. And they did a ramp walk on the festivals. So every city has their own style what they built up with. Bombay did a sari session. And I was just wondering, is it fitting it? they said Bombay hai, sab chalega, film industry ka to kaam karna hi hai. And the children had such a ball of a time. I think 18 sarees, 18 old film actresses, they dress up of sarees, and parents, children, everyone loved it. So it was all part of the game that way. In fact, ma'am, just remember, we have to put Suman ma'am, we have to put 2 pages of that in the coffee table book also for that. Yeah. Next one. So this is the whole general thing about the monuments that happen here. Now we are talking about Bangalore, your city. We've done our homework before coming here. So these are the monuments of this city, and we would love to school or maybe this college or someone pick up this project. We would be loving to do it with you all. We will give you all the resources possible. Next. You need to take the children there just for 2 times. Once to show the monument first. Second, after they are really into it, they go there. Otherwise, all work will happen online. Just keep sliding that. Yeah. So I'm sure there are more monuments in Bangalore which we only refer to Google and got these. Keep on showing them. I'm keeping track of time. I've got around 12 minutes more. I can stop early also, don't wait. Just show that, let's complete this. Over. Now just come to one thing which is called skill. I told you if there's time, we can show that. So this gentleman, Mr. Ramesh, was talking about skill manuals, right? So I'm going to show you just the skills. The last one which I sent to you, it's got a nice art effect done, skill modules. So under the City Palace, we have another foundation called Princess Diya Kumari Foundation. So CBSE gave us the task of getting these manuals made across the country. Of course, we could not reach South so quick, but then we are willing to do it with South schools also. We've done 13 manuals, topics, skill manuals, into 3 manuals each for grade 6, 7th, 8th. Start showing the PPT. So that's on mask making. You can start just skipping it off. There are 3 manuals on mask making next. 6, 7th, 8th, then there's on pottery. Just keep on showing them. They'll be able to relate it. So these are what we are recommending to be taken up for the bagless days. We made 13. We are making 22 more. If anyone wants to join in to make that, we'll send you a template and we'll tell you how you can pick up a craft of a city and do that. So these are the subjects taken up in that. They are all available on the CBSE website under skill manuals, skill education. We've done khadi, we've done blue pottery. We've also done one how to make a graphic novel. And just to keep you all updated, this year our theme actually is mental health and well-being. So we're working across the country with a lot issues. Festivals happen somewhere in November, December, Jan, Feb, as one feel like. If you want to just be part of receiving the information, getting the sessions, we're happy with you doing that also. Don't want to be part of the program, we're happy with that. So anyone who's interested, you can just catch hold of someone and give us your school names and numbers. We'll put you in the group. And again, Anita Karwal ma'am is heading the group. CBSE and CRT, both are with us in this journey because we are working on their books. They have 10 manuals they have given to us. We are working on those 10 manuals which are prescribed by Ministry of Education, CBSE and this was. Can we stop there? I think I've finished off in right time, so that should be good. Thank you so much, everyone. Any questions, please ask. I'm available here today and tomorrow, but you can take over.
Check. Thank you, sir, for your insightful and thought-provoking session. So the way you brought learning to life, from using graphic novels and videos to teaching through monuments, even demonstrating physics concepts like air pressure, was truly remarkable, sir. I hope the delegates thoroughly enjoyed your session. Your creative approach to pedagogy has not only captured our attention but also sparked new ideas among all of us. Thank you once again, sir, for your unique insights with us. Now I would like to invite any queries or any reflections from the delegates. Kindly raise your hand and our volunteers will bring the microphone to you. So,
You can take this mic.
So good morning, this is Chandra Chudeshwaran, the Ashok Leland School, Osur, Tamil Nadu. Please explain how did you integrate biology in graphic novels?
Biology in graphic novels, excellent. Whether the question is biology or chemistry or physics, all is the same. So you must have seen one graphic novel here put up by Girls' School Gwalior. They did on, I'm forgetting the chapter, it's related to 8th, 9th, 10th biology, that's cells. So you, first of all, when you pick up a novel, you pick up a chapter, we have to see the application of that in real life. If you are able to link it with application, then only you can develop a story on that. So when any chapter, like any teacher volunteers that we want to do on this chapter, so we always tell them pick up a tough chapter because it could be really good to take a challenging chapter. And that's not my subject. So then we start thrashing it out. I'll ask you a layman questions. How is this important in our life? Because until you don't tell that to me, how can I create a story? Because when you're answering that question to me, I can only visualize a character at home. See, what clicks very well till 5th standard children is teacher and student. What goes against 6th to 12th is teacher and child. You can never have a story with teacher and child from grade 6 to 12th. So it has to be peer, family, friends, uncle, aunts, friends that way. So the only question I'll be keeping on asking you 10 times is, how is it related to real life? So once you tell me how it's related to real life, it's got to link up with a disease, you've got to link up with vitamins. So we've done, I think, around 7-8 novels in biology. So it is just, and that is how people remember. Otherwise they can't remember. I think microorganisms ka comic bana hua hai. That's in 8th, 9th, 10th biology. It's come out really well. And that school has done black and white sketches. Any other question? Yeah.
This is Muthupriya, HOD of Commerce.
Sorry, yeah.
Sir, this is Muthupriya, HOD of Commerce. I tried without textbook for business studies and entrepreneurship. Can you just put on light on how
Give me the name of the chapter.
Done for accountancy.
Which chapter?
Accountancy.
Which chapter?
Partnership.
Partnership, fine. So we picked up first, there are 3 chapters in it, right? Admission, retirement, death and dissolution. So we dealt with India. That time it was Pakistan also, and it was America. We were talking about the possibility of having amalgamation of these 3 countries. I was reading a novel. That is where I picked up a lot of concepts that way. So we picked up them in piecemeal. We picked up goodwill in a story form first. Right? We picked up the features and fundamentals of partnership. We made a Havan Mandap and a marriage ceremony there. You know how many people who believe in that 7 Vachan, 7 Fere, 7 Vachan? And if you look at accountancy, you've got 6 principles in partnership. So we created a 7th one. So that was a script we created around that. Then we decided when 2 countries want to join hands, how will they do it? You have to assess your assets, your accounts teacher, you know what I'm talking about? You're doing revaluation right now. And the value of goodwill. So we picked up first India and Pakistan. It was very controversial because we had 3 national anthems in our production. And we had the Pakistan national anthem, we had the American national anthem, and then we had the Indian national anthem because we were talking about 3 countries. Irony was that India comes up in the end, so the national anthem will come in the end. And the chief guest was the tourism minister. And of course, when any national anthem happens on stage, everyone stands up. So the first national anthem was Pakistan. Everyone stood up, and she had to leave after that. And it would be against the protocol not to stand for an Indian national anthem in the program, and we are standing on a Pakistan national anthem. While she was getting up and going, I got a crisis call. Don't let her go till she stands for the national anthem, otherwise she'll be in trouble tomorrow. So we were even handling all those crises. So for us it was very easy. So for me, the exhibitions which I had 35 years prior to that was when I hit across, because I was developing stories that time. So India comes with the assets and liabilities, and they partner with Pakistan. So all your revaluation comes there, goodwill comes there. And then America also comes. Then one country wants to step out. That's the time came with dissolution. So I think it's making sense to you. And Soumya is here. Soumya, which year were you there? What did we do that year? I don't remember. 2006. Finance. I think our group went to Nainital also, right? Yeah. So we were traveling for this theatre, and Bishop has commented on a dance. Okay, how many commerce teachers here? 1, 2, not many. Final accounts, trading account, P&L account, balance sheet. Our chief guest was Leela Sampson. 5 days prior to that, she gives me a call. Sandeep, I do not know why I'm called. I don't understand accountancy at all. I said, no, ma'am, please come. We've got 5 songs. And our director, Raju sir, had only made 2 that time. 5 days were left. We created 3 more songs. And the toughest concept, final account, trading account, that is balance sheet, P&L. How many of you all, we are talking, we got this call and we were under great trouble because we didn't have songs ready. So I asked everyone, tomorrow we are going to come. I am not a dance teacher, you can make out, but I choreograph very well. So I said, tomorrow we are going to come, and we are going to come with a music piece which will have 3 different beats. And 3 different beats I wanted was for trading P&L balance sheet. Everyone came up with the same song. Anyone can guess, I think the younger crowd or even all of you all, which was the song in Hindi cinema which has got 3 different beats in the same song. A film was called Mohabbatein. If you've seen that film, you remember there are 3 young couples and they have got different beats for one song. Everyone came up with the same song beat. And we did that program there. We heard the song, we choreographed it. We had 2 climaxes to it. And that was I don't allow costumes in my production because we don't have money. So only for that we had allowed, like one set of couples trading account with P&L and balance sheet. Wherever we went, we had to perform twice. And Bishop was the one in Ajmer when he saw the program. He says, Sandeep, you know something? When the boy is holding that girl and he's not realizing she's a girl, and the girl is dancing with the boy, not realizing that's a boy, that is what you were able to create in this dance. And you can't imagine what happens in the green room behind in theatre. These young girls and boys, and Soumya was in grade 11th, we performed in their 12th. I got a shock. I compare all my programs. I was just looking back and I was shocked to see, and I turned this side. There was a girl who just stripped up and changed her costume and came out. There was no place to change. So they were not bothered about each other at all. And had it to be any other teacher of my school, they would have ruined the theatre production completely. The girl had no problem, the boys had no problem. No one was bothered because the focus was she had to change and go on the stage next, and there was no room available. So she just made 2 girls stand in front of her, she changed the clothes. No, that is what you do when you trust them so much. So I don't know whether I've interacted with your answer or not. Any other questions? Because I told you I can go on and on. Fine. For a novel? Graphic novel or a play?
For all these integration you have done, for the science and social science.
Fine. So, we have one subject teacher who's very passionate. So we ring up the school, there was COVID times, no school was happening, so all 100 teachers would come online and we would tell them, now, whichever teacher wants to do a work on a graphic novel, get in touch with your principal, because we would like to coordinate through her. And already the comics which are made don't pick them up. So then that subject teacher would first go to the principal. Ma'am, I want to do on this subject. I have a story. I would listen to that story. I have no story, but I want to do. We were open with that also. Then we used to tell her, once you are clear with your story, you have to have a language teacher with you who will help you to make the dialogues. Right? And more interestingly, maths teacher, when they get a language teacher, I used to always ask the language teacher, are you understanding maths? If you're understanding, then only we are doing it. If not, because if you don't understand the story, no one will. So that was the challenge we took. So it was one subject teacher, then the language teacher, then the art teacher, and then the IT teacher. And after they made the comic book, maybe after 12, 13 online sessions, we would send it to schools across the country. to do the vetting, and they would give us changes, corrections. Then we would send it to NCRT to do the corrections. So it was a process, and every day was a report day for us because NCRT can reject your comics. And it has happened, we got 10 rejections, but we still had 200 acceptance also. And NCRT professors see it with 10 magnifying glasses. Comma, full stop, semicolon, they really check it very well. Any other question? I hope I'm answering your question, by the way. So how many of you all know that these comic books are there on the Diksha website? And that is what scares me. People don't know that. So that's why, I travel wherever I can, at least to talk about it. Don't know to make one, learn how to use one. Because you have it, and there's one comic book, whichever, I'll give it to Soumya, you can spread it to everyone, that is on the rise of nationalism in Europe, a 42-minute audio comic book. And any history teaching here, a teacher sitting here who's teaching 10th grade? How many classes do you take to teach that chapter? Rise of nationalism in Europe? How many? 15. Louder? 8 lessons. 20 lessons. Now imagine 20 lessons multiplied by the number of the minutes you have in a class. And this is a 42-minute document. 42-minute document divided into 4 is approximately 10 or 11 minutes. You have the chapter divided into concepts. It's audio. Show only one today of 10 to 12 minutes. Discuss it. Come the next day, show the previous one again and show a new one again. And discuss it again. By the 4th day, they would have seen the whole film. 5th day only discuss, and with every concept ending, there are MCQ questions. Thanks to Anita Karwal ma'am on that, she made us make those questions. And look at that audio book of yours. Rise of Nationalism in Europe, I think it's 52 minutes. So 14 minutes every day, 4 to 5 days, you're wasting 20 classes for that. So I'm going to send it to Soumya, and you have a group or someone here, you can just forward them to her, right? I wanted to show that to you, but I thought it will take some time. Or you can come to me, take your number, and I'll transfer it to you right away. Also can do that. Anything left? Great. So I think that's been an interesting session. Thank you so much.